3,000 years ago, two armies stood frozen on opposite hills, too afraid to fight each other. Between them, on the valley floor, a teenager walked out alone. No armor, no sword, no shield. The soldiers behind him thought they were watching a suicide. Across the valley, waiting for him, stood the largest man anyone had ever seen. You think you know this story. Most people do. But almost everything you remember about it is wrong, including who actually had the advantage. This is the real story of David and Goliath. The Valley of Elah, roughly 1000 BC. On one ridge, the army of the Philistines, a seafaring people with iron weapons and professional soldiers. On the other, the army of Israel, farmers and shepherds under their first king, Saul. Neither side would attack. Here's why. To fight in that valley, one army had to walk downhill and charge uphill into the other. Whoever moved first would be slaughtered. So they waited. Days became weeks, and that's when the Philistines offered a different way to settle it, an ancient custom called single combat. Each side sends one champion. Two men fight. The loser's entire nation surrenders. It sounds fair, until you see who the Philistines sent. His name was Goliath, from the city of Gath. The ancient texts put him at over 9 feet tall. Even by conservative readings, he was close to 7, in an era when the average man stood 5'3". But it wasn't just his size. His bronze armor weighed 125 pounds, more than some of the soldiers watching him. His spear was like a weaver's beam, with an iron point heavier than a sledgehammer. A shield-bearer walked in front of him, because Goliath didn't need to protect himself. He was siege equipment shaped like a man. Every morning and every evening for 40 days, Goliath walked into the valley and roared the same challenge. Send me a man, and let us fight. 80 times. And 80 times, not one soldier in Israel moved. Even King Saul, who stood head and shoulders above his own men, the biggest man in his army, stayed in his tent. Then a shepherd boy showed up with bread. David was the youngest of 8 brothers, too young for the army. His job that day was errand boy, carry food to his brothers at the front, come home. He arrived just in time to hear the morning taunt, and he watched 1,000 grown soldiers shrink back from one man's voice. David asked a question that embarrassed everyone who heard it. Who is this man, that an entire army is afraid of him? His oldest brother turned on him, furious. Go home, watch your sheep. This isn't for you. But word of the boy asking dangerous questions reached King Saul, and Saul, 40 days desperate, summoned him. David told the king he would fight the giant. Saul refused. You're a kid. He's been killing men since before you were born. And David's answer is the hinge of the whole story. He'd spent years alone in the wilderness, defending his flock. When a lion took a lamb, he ran it down and killed it. Then a bear. He wasn't volunteering to die. He was telling the king, I have done this before. Here's the part almost everyone gets wrong. Saul offered David his own royal armor. David tried it on and took it off. He couldn't move in it. Instead, he walked down to a stream, chose 5 smooth stones, and took out the tool he'd carried his whole life, a sling. Forget the toy you're picturing. An ancient sling was a leather pouch on 2 cords, whipped in circles and released. In trained hands it launched a stone at speeds approaching a modern fastball, except this fastball was solid rock, aimed at your skull. Ancient armies had entire divisions of slingers. Historians rank a master slinger's accuracy with an archer's at up to 200 yards. So look at the matchup again. Goliath was heavy infantry, built for close combat, crushing whoever came within reach of that spear. Slow, half-blind behind a bronze helmet. David was artillery, fast, light, lethal from a distance. Goliath's entire plan required David to come close. David never intended to. Goliath saw a boy walking toward him with a stick and felt insulted. "Am I a dog, that you come at me with sticks?" He cursed David and promised to feed his body to the birds. David's reply, standing in the open before the largest warrior alive: "You come at me with sword and spear and javelin. I come with something you can't see. Today, everyone here will learn how this really ends." Then David did the one thing nobody in that valley expected. He ran at the giant. Running, loaded the sling. One rotation at full sprint, and he released. The stone crossed the gap faster than Goliath could raise his shield and struck the one place his armor didn't cover, his forehead. 9 feet of bronze and muscle went down face first into the dirt. David had no sword, so he took Goliath's, the giant's own massive blade, and finished it. He held the head up so both armies could see. The Philistine army didn't surrender as the deal required. They ran, and Israel's soldiers, paralyzed for 40 days, poured down the hillside after them. The shepherd boy became Israel's greatest king. But that's another story. Here's why this one has survived 3,000 years, told by people of every faith and none. We remember it as a miracle, the weak defeating the strong. But look closer, and it's something more unsettling. Goliath's size, his armor, his reach, every advantage he had was also the thing that doomed him. He was so strong that no one had ever made him fight a battle that wasn't on his terms. Until someone refused to. The giant lost the moment he assumed the fight would be fought his way. Whatever valley you're standing in, it's worth asking. Is the giant in front of you actually unbeatable? Or has no one simply changed the rules yet? Next time, a man gets swallowed alive and survives. And that's not even the strange part of his story.